Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Dutch ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een kunstenaar.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
Wat doe je voor werk?
What do you do?
Ik ben een kunstenaar.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
Wat doe je voor werk?
Listen to it again.
Wat doe je voor werk? Wat doe je voor werk?
Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
Ik ben een.
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
Ik ben een kunstenaar. Ik ben een kunstenaar.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer.
Politieagent. Politieagent.
Politieagenten. Politieagenten.
Teacher.
Leraar. Leraar.
Lerares. Lerares.
Doctor.
Dokter. Dokter.
Engineer.
Ingenieur. Ingenieur.
Now, listen to some examples.
Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een leraar. Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een dokter. Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een ingenieur.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
Wat doe je voor werk?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
Dokter. Dokter.
Say, I'm a doctor.
Ik ben een dokter.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een dokter.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
Leraar. Leraar.
Say, I'm a teacher.
Ik ben een leraar.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een leraar.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
Ingenieur. Ingenieur.
Say, I'm an engineer.
Ik ben een ingenieur.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
Wat doe je voor werk? Ik ben een ingenieur.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, how's your mother? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat goed met haar.
Once more with the English translation.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder?
How's your mother?
Het gaat goed met haar.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how's your mother? That's,
Hoe gaat het met je moeder?
listen to it again.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Hoe gaat het met je moeder?
This Dutch sentence literally means, how goes it with your mother? But it translates as, how's your mother in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Het gaat
state of well-being.
met haar.
This Dutch sentence literally means, she's doing, but it translates as, she is state of well-being in English. For example, she's fine.
Het gaat goed met haar. Het gaat goed met haar.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
Geweldig. Geweldig.
fine,
Goed. Goed.
so-so,
Redelijk. Redelijk.
not good,
Niet zo goed. Niet zo goed.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat geweldig met haar. Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat redelijk met haar. Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat niet zo goed met haar.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how's your mother?
Hoe gaat het met je moeder?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say, great?
Geweldig. Geweldig.
Say, she's great.
Het gaat geweldig met haar.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat geweldig met haar.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
Redelijk. Redelijk.
Say, she's so-so.
Het gaat redelijk met haar.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat redelijk met haar.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
Niet zo goed. Niet zo goed.
Say, she's not good.
Het gaat niet zo goed met haar.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
Hoe gaat het met je moeder? Het gaat niet zo goed met haar.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1. Introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes, starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2. Talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3. Give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4. Ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5. Learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day 1. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "What's the matter?" After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is heet.
Once more with the English translation.
Wat is er aan de hand?
What's the matter?
Het kantoor is heet.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "What's the matter?" That's,
Wat is er aan de hand?
Listen to it again.
Wat is er aan de hand? Wat is er aan de hand?
This Dutch sentence literally translates into, what is wrong? But it means, what's the matter in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Het kantoor is.
adjective. The office is adjective. For example, the office is hot.
Het kantoor is heet. Het kantoor is heet.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
Heet. Heet.
cold,
Koud. Koud.
noisy,
Luidruchtig. Luidruchtig.
dark,
Donker. Donker.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is koud.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is luidruchtig.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is donker.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's the matter?
Wat is er aan de hand?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
Koud. Koud.
Say, the office is cold.
Het kantoor is koud.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is koud.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
Luidruchtig. Luidruchtig.
Say, the office is noisy.
Het kantoor is luidruchtig.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is luidruchtig.
Now imagine the office is dark. Do you remember how to say dark?
Donker. Donker.
Say, the office is dark.
Het kantoor is donker.
Now answer the question saying the office is dark.
Wat is er aan de hand?
Het kantoor is donker.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Hoe zeg je dit?
Het is parkeerplaats.
Once more with the English translation.
Hoe zeg je dit?
How do you say this?
Het is parkeerplaats.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
Hoe zeg je dit?
listen to it again.
Hoe zeg je dit? Hoe zeg je dit?
This Dutch sentence literally translates into, how say you this? But it means, how do you say this in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Het is.
word. It's word. For example, it's parking lot.
Het is parkeerplaats. Het is parkeerplaats.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
Parkeerplaats. Parkeerplaats.
dog,
Hond. Hond.
travel,
Reizen. Reizen.
invasion,
Invasie. Invasie.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Hoe zeg je dit? Het is hond. Hoe zeg je dit? Het is reizen. Hoe zeg je dit? Het is invasie.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
Hoe zeg je dit?
Now, imagine it's the word dog. Do you remember how to say dog?
Hond. Hond.
Say, it's dog.
Het is hond.
Now answer the question saying it's dog.
Hoe zeg je dit? Het is hond.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Reizen. Reizen.
Say, it's travel.
Het is reizen.
Now, answer the question saying it's travel.
Hoe zeg je dit? Het is reizen.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
Invasie. Invasie.
Say, it's invasion.
Het is invasie.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
Hoe zeg je dit? Het is invasie.
Want to speak real Dutch from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at DutchPod101.com.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Wat is je favoriete getal? Dat is 7.
Once more with the English translation.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
What's your favorite number?
Dat is 7.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's,
Wat is je favoriete getal?
listen to it again.
Wat is je favoriete getal? Wat is je favoriete getal?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Dat is,
number. This Dutch sentence literally translates into that's number, but it means it's number in English. For example, it's 7.
dat is 7. Dat is 7.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 2.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 4.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 9.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's your favorite number?
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, it's 2.
Dat is 2.
Now answer the question saying, it's 2.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 2.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, it's 4.
Dat is 4.
Now answer the question by saying, it's 4.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 4.
Now imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say, it's 9.
Dat is 9.
Now answer the question saying, it's 9.
Wat is je favoriete getal?
Dat is 9.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary lists in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on. So you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Van wat voor soort films hou je?
Ik hou van horrorfilms.
Once more with the English translation.
Van wat voor soort films hou je?
What kind of movies do you like?
Ik hou van horrorfilms.
I like horror movies. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what kind of movies do you like? That's,
Van wat voor soort films hou je?
listen to it again.
Van wat voor soort films hou je? Van wat voor soort films hou je?
This Dutch sentence literally translates as, from what kind of movie like you? But it means, what kind of movies do you like? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Ik hou van
type of movie.
films.
This Dutch sentence literally translates as, I like from type of movie, movies. But it means, I like type of movie, movies. For example, I like horror movies.
Ik hou van horrorfilms. Ik hou van horrorfilms.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
Horror. Horror.
comedy,
Comedy. Comedy.
fantasy,
Fantasie. Fantasie.
romance,
Romantische. Romantische.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van comedyfilms. Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van fantasiefilms. Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van romantische films.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what kind of movies do you like?
Van wat voor soort films hou je?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say, comedy?
Comedy. Comedy.
Say, I like comedies.
Ik hou van comedyfilms.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van comedyfilms.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
Fantasie. Fantasie.
Say, I like fantasy movies.
Ik hou van fantasiefilms.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van fantasiefilms.
Now imagine you like romantic movies. Do you remember how to say romantic?
Romantische. Romantische.
Say, I like romantic movies.
Ik hou van romantische films.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic movies.
Van wat voor soort films hou je? Ik hou van romantische films.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om naar het strand te gaan.
Once more with the English translation.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
What are you doing for King's Day?
Ik ben van plan om naar het strand te gaan.
I'm planning to go to the beach. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for King's Day? That's,
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
this is the birthday of King Willem-Alexander, who was born on April 27, 1967. Listen to it again.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag? Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
This Dutch sentence literally translates as, what do you with King's Day? But it means, what are you doing for King's Day? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Ik ben van plan om.
plan. This Dutch sentence literally translates as, I am from plan to plan, but it means, I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to the beach.
Ik ben van plan om naar het strand te gaan. Ik ben van plan om naar het strand te gaan.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to the beach.
Naar het strand te gaan. Naar het strand te gaan.
Travel.
Te gaan reizen. Te gaan reizen.
Stay home.
Thuis te blijven. Thuis te blijven.
Go to the movies.
Naar de film te gaan. Naar de film te gaan.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om te gaan reizen.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om thuis te blijven.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om naar de film te gaan.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what are you doing for King's Day?
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Te gaan reizen. Te gaan reizen.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
Ik ben van plan om te gaan reizen.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om te gaan reizen.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
Thuis te blijven. Thuis te blijven.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
Ik ben van plan om thuis te blijven.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om thuis te blijven.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say, go to the movies?
Naar de film te gaan. Naar de film te gaan.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
Ik ben van plan om naar de film te gaan.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
Wat doe je met Koningsdag?
Ik ben van plan om naar de film te gaan.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Hallo, ik wil graag met de verantwoordelijke persoon spreken.
Oké, een ogenblikje.
Once more with the English translation.
Hallo, ik wil graag met de verantwoordelijke persoon spreken.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Oké, een ogenblikje.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
Hallo, hallo.
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is
Ik wil graag met
person.
spreken.
This Dutch sentence literally translates as, I want very with person talk, but it means, I'd like to speak with person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Hallo, ik wil graag met de verantwoordelijke persoon spreken. Hallo, ik wil graag met de verantwoordelijke persoon spreken.
Now, how do you answer this question?
Oké, een ogenblikje.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
Oké, een ogenblikje. Oké, een ogenblikje.
This Dutch sentence literally translates as, okay, a moment, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
De verantwoordelijke persoon. De verantwoordelijke persoon.
A sales representative.
Een vertegenwoordiger. Een vertegenwoordiger.
The manager.
De manager. De manager.
Customer service.
De klantenservice. De klantenservice.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Ik wil graag een vertegenwoordiger spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje. Ik wil graag met de manager spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje. Ik wil graag de klantenservice spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
Ik wil graag met
Person.
spreken.
And how do you answer it?
Oké, een ogenblikje.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
Een vertegenwoordiger. Een vertegenwoordiger.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
Ik wil graag een vertegenwoordiger spreken.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
Ik wil graag een vertegenwoordiger spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say, the manager?
De manager. De manager.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
Ik wil graag met de manager spreken.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
Ik wil graag met de manager spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
De klantenservice. De klantenservice.
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
Ik wil graag de klantenservice spreken.
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
Ik wil graag de klantenservice spreken. Oké, een ogenblikje.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the two recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hallo allemaal, ik heet Marleen. Hi everybody, I'm Marleen. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to be grateful to people by saying bedankt. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Holland. Ben je er klaar voor? Are you ready? Let's start. The most used informal greeting is hallo. Hallo. Hallo means hi or hello. We should only use this greeting with friends or relatives. The most used formal greetings will change depending on the time of the day. Let's start with goedendag. Goedendag. Literally, goedendag means good day. As a rule of thumb, we can use goedendag only during the daytime, from late morning until early evening. In the morning we say goedemorgen, good morning. Goedemorgen. During the evening we say goedenavond. Goedenavond. Goed is Dutch for good. Dag, morgen, and avond means day, morning, and evening, respectively. Easy, right? What should you say when you leave? Dutch people usually say tot ziens when leaving in a formal situation. Tot ziens. Tot ziens means goodbye. If we say goodbye to friends or our relatives, we use the informal word dag. Dag. You can also say doei. The expression doei is commonly used in informal situations. Doei. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Dutch. Let's review them all again. First, the greetings. Informally, we simply say hallo. Formally, use goedemorgen in the morning, goedendag in the afternoon, and goedenavond in the evening. When leaving in a formal situation, we say tot ziens, and in an informal situation, it's dag or doei. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Marleen's insights. In formal situations, Dutch people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, We kiss each other on both cheeks, usually 2 or 3 times. Don't be afraid to do it with your Dutch friends. It's normal. Tot ziens!
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better. Follow these steps and have patience. You'll soon be able to achieve your language learning goals. Just make sure to remember these 4 methods. Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start learning more every day.
Hello and welcome to this next Dutch lesson where we will talk about the must-know phrases in Dutch. My name is Stella and I will be teaching you some very useful basic phrases in Dutch today. So let's get started. The first word of the day is hallo. Hello. Hallo. Hello. So as you can see, the standard Dutch greeting is very similar to the English one. Now, if you feel like mixing it up a little bit, you can also say hoi, which is our version of hey, and it's slightly more informal. Now, if you want to be a little less casual, for example, if you arrive at work in the morning, you could say this. Goedemorgen. Good morning. Goedemorgen. Goedemorgen. Now, if you want to be a little less casual, for example, if you arrive at work in the morning, you could say this. Goedemorgen. Goedemorgen. Good morning. You can also say this to anyone else you meet in the morning, for example, in a shop or the person you wake up next to. If it's in the afternoon, you could say this. Goedemiddag. Good afternoon. Goedemiddag. Goedemiddag. This one is much more formal than goedemorgen. In the Netherlands, you can say goedemorgen to anyone, but goedemiddag is really only used when starting a conversation with someone you don't know, for example, at the supermarket or at the beginning of a phone call. Goedenavond. Good evening. Goedenavond. Goedenavond. Good evening. This one is pretty formal. You do best to only use it, for example, when entering a restaurant or something like that. Hoe heet u? What's your name? Hoe heet u? Hoe heet u? What's your name? Bear in mind that the Dutch have a formal u, which is u, and an informal u, which is je. So if you're asking a child or a classmate what his or her name is, you should probably go with hoe heet je? Now, after learning someone's name, you will likely be asked to say yours, to which you could say, ik ben, I'm, ik ben, enter your name here. So in my case, it would be, ik ben Stella. Ik ben Stella. I'm Stella. It's just your basic introduction. After you've both stated your names, you'll likely shake hands and say something like this. Leuk je te ontmoeten. Nice to meet you. Leuk je te ontmoeten. Leuk je te ontmoeten. Nice to meet you. Now remember the difference between je and u. If you're meeting a new client at work, you may want to say leuk u te ontmoeten, just to class it up a bit. Another useful sentence right after introductions is hoe gaat het? How are you? Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het? How are you? It's a nice way to get to know a little bit about the other person, if they feel like sharing. Most of the time, though, they will probably just say that they're fine and leave it at that. And that would sound like this. Het gaat prima, dank je. En met jou? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Het gaat prima, dank je. En met jou? Het gaat prima, dank je. En met jou? I'm fine, thanks. And you? So when people ask you this, it's probably better not to launch into a 15-minute speech about how you are really doing. Keep it short and to the point. Now, here comes one that's rather ambiguous. Alstublieft. Please. Alstublieft. Alstublieft. Please. First of all, when saying this to someone you know well, say alsjeblieft. Je, u, remember? But whichever one you use, it can also mean here you go. So you say it when you're asking someone for something, but also when handing it over. It's pretty confusing, right? Crazy Dutchies. When someone hands you something, or someone has done something nice for you, the polite thing to do is say this. Dank je. Thank you. Dank je. Dank je. Thank you. And again, if you're in a formal situation, say dank u. Next one is what you say after that. Graag gedaan. You're welcome. Graag gedaan. Graag gedaan. Now this is probably a hard one because of the notorious Dutch sound. Just remember, if you pull this off, you'll sound very Dutch indeed. The next two are really short and to the point. Ja. Yes. Ja. Ja. Yes. Nee. No. Nee. Nee. No. Just your basic yes and no. Use them wisely. The next one is easy. You'll all recognize it immediately. Okay. 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 And of course it means okay. It's the same word and you can basically spell it any way you like, so go to town. Excuseer. Excuse me. Excuseer. Excuseer. Excuse me. You can say this if you want to pass by someone and you need them to move, for example. The second way to apologize in Dutch is het spijt me. I'm sorry. Het spijt me. Het spijt me. I'm sorry. You can also say sorry if you've done a small thing wrong, but if you've really made a mess of things, you may want to go all the way and just go with het spijt me. So let's move on to a few short questions. First one is, hoe laat is het? What time is it? Hoe laat is het? Hoe laat is het? What time is it? A literal translation would be, how late is it? But we use this whenever we just want to ask for the time. Waar is het toilet? Where is the restroom? Waar is het toilet? Waar is het toilet? Where is the restroom? So I'm sure you recognize the word toilet in there, but if you want to sound very Dutch, use wc for water closet. So then you would say, waar is de wc? The next one isn't a question, but a request. Wacht even. Wait a moment. Wacht even. Wacht even. Wait a moment. You can use this if someone is talking to you while you're busy, or if you need someone to not move while you grab something from a different aisle, etc. It's a very useful sentence. So if you're in a shop and you want to ask how much something is, you can ask, hoeveel kost dit? How much is this? Hoeveel kost dit? How much is this? Though usually when you're in the Netherlands, there will be clear price tags on everything. The Dutch don't haggle. If you've eaten at a restaurant and you want the check, say, mag ik de rekening alstublieft? Could I get the check, please? Mag ik de rekening alstublieft? Mag ik de rekening alstublieft? Could I get the check, please? Now remember, Dutch people will often split the bill. So if you want to ask for the check, but you don't want to necessarily imply that you'll be the one paying for it, you could say, mogen wij de rekening alstublieft? Which means, could we get the check, please? Here's a word you really need to know, but you probably already do. Help. 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 It just means help. Sometimes life will throw you a bone. Tot later. See you later. If you're taking leave of someone, you can say tot later. Tot later. See you later. You can also just say later. That's been catching on quickly lately. Here's a slightly more formal version of saying goodbye. Tot ziens. Goodbye. Tot ziens. Tot ziens. Goodbye. You're technically saying the same thing you were earlier. It just means that you'll see each other again. But this is the one you would use in a grocery store, whereas you would say tot later or later to a friend. So that's all for today. These were the must-know phrases in Dutch. If there's anything missing from this list, make sure to tell me in the comments. Like and subscribe to this channel. And if you'd like to learn more Dutch, visit dutchpod101.com. Thanks and goodbye. The first one. Hoe heet u? Hoe heet u? What's your name? An answer to this could be Ik heet Jacob. Ik heet Jacob. My name is Jacob. So this is just your basic introduction, but an important thing to remember is that the Dutch word u is very formal. So if you want to ask a coworker or a classmate or someone who is the same age as you what their name is, you should probably say je instead of u. So it would be hoe heet je? Next question. Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het? How are you? And an answer might be met mij gaat het goed. Met mij gaat het goed. I am doing well. Now this is a pretty long sentence that you don't necessarily need to, say in full. If someone asks hoe gaat het? You can just shorten it and say goed. Waar kom je vandaan? Waar kom je vandaan? Where are you from? Sample answer. Ik kom uit Amsterdam. Ik kom uit Amsterdam. I am from Amsterdam. Now, if you're just asking this question flat out, then people might consider that to be a little direct. So a more gentle way of asking this is just assuming that someone is from somewhere and then letting them correct you. So you could ask, kom je uit Amsterdam? Which means, are you from Amsterdam? And then someone else could say, no, actually, I'm from Haarlem. Hoe oud ben je? Hoe oud ben je? How old are you? Possible answer. Ik ben 20 jaar. Ik ben 20 jaar. I am 20 years old. So if you're answering this question, you may actually leave out jaar. You can just say, ik ben 20. And leave it at that. That's more common. Waar werk je? Waar werk je? Where do you work? Ik werk in Rotterdam. Ik werk in Rotterdam. I work in Rotterdam. Though this sample answer is a city, you're more likely to get an answer with something like I work in marketing or I work at Coolblue or whatever. So when you're asking someone where they work, it's assumed that you're talking about the job, not the actual location. Here's an opportunity to learn some numbers. Wat is je telefoonnummer? Wat is je telefoonnummer? What is your phone number? Answer. Mijn telefoonnummer is 012 345 6678. Mijn telefoonnummer is 012 345 6678. My phone number is 012 345 6678. So now you also have an idea of all the numbers from 0 to 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hou je van Nederlands eten? Hou je van Nederlands eten? Do you like Dutch food? A likely answer to this is nee, ik hou niet van Nederlands eten. Nee, ik hou niet van Nederlands eten. No, I don't like Dutch food. So some typical Dutch dishes are hutspot, which is mashed potatoes with mashed carrots, and beschuit met muisjes, which is like a crispy biscuit with small pink or blue and white little balls on it, and they're made of sugar and aniseed. And that's traditionally eaten at the birth of a child. Well, to celebrate the birth of a child. Heb je broers of zussen? Heb je broers of zussen? Do you have any brothers or sisters? And an answer to this may be, ja, ik heb een broer. Ja, ik heb een broer. Yes, I have one brother. So there's no real Dutch equivalent to the word siblings, so you'll always have to ask if they have brothers or sisters. It can be a little bit of a pain, but there's just no alternative, so sorry. Ben je wel eens in Nederland geweest? Ben je wel eens in Nederland geweest? Have you ever been to the Netherlands? A likely answer: nee, ik ben er nog niet geweest. Nee, ik ben er nog niet geweest. No, I haven't been there yet. Waar heb je Nederlands geleerd? Waar heb je Nederlands geleerd? Where did you learn Dutch? It's so incredible. Sample answer would be: ik heb het op school geleerd. Ik heb het op school geleerd. I have learned it at school. I don't actually know if there is any country except for the Netherlands where they teach Dutch. We're not very popular in that sense.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Dutch ebook before it's gone.